Hi there, good morning. You have tuned into Market Cafe right here on ET Now. I'm Shrishti Sharma and with me is my colleague Ankita. And viewers, we are here with you for the next 1 hour where we're going to be telling you all the big global stories that we are tracking at this point in time. Let's tell you also the stocks that you should be watching out for in today's trading session and lots more lined up. So stay tuned. But firstly, let's start with how the global handover and especially the US market is looking like at this point in time. So just yesterday, we have seen a very good rebound happening within the US markets for all the three benchmark indices, wherein look at the move in Dow Jones that actually climbed almost 0.3%. It was the S&P 500 that jumped almost 0.6%, but Nasdaq, the IT pack, was seen to be rebounding quite sharply after the recent sell-off that we have seen, and 0.8% gain is what we have seen on Nasdaq. And select counters like Nvidia and Meta, they were seen to be surging. Nvidia specifically surged almost 1.6% after Meta announced plans to use its AI chips in the data centers, boosting the market sentiment. And along with that, the sentiment along the whole tech and the software space was actually quite positive. So yes, of course, we have seen good moves on the Wall Street, a good rebound that we have seen, and that's kind of an handover that we are getting to see right this point in time when it comes to the US markets. But when it comes to the commodity world, very, very interesting moves out there because yes, of course, it was the Brent oil that actually took all the charm, and yes, it has surged almost 4% in trade just yesterday. Even the gold and the silver prices were seen to be rebounding, and definitely there are reports of a potential conflict between the US and the Iran, and along with that, the peace talks between Russia and Ukraine, they collapsed in just 2 hours. And with respect to all that can happen with Strait of Hormuz specifically, it was the oil that was seen to be jumping almost 4%. As of now, Brent crude is hovering around that $70 per barrel mark. That is one big trigger. But along with that, the other big move that we have seen was on the commodity prices. Gold once again was seen to be surpassing that 5,000 per ounce mark on an intraday basis just yesterday. As of now, is trading very close to those levels. Even silver that jumped almost 5 to 6% overnight, and as of now as well, when we look at the silver prices, is trading at $76.7 per ounce mark. So the safe haven demand is once again seen to be getting back, and with respect to the Strait of Hormuz shutting and what really is happening between US as well as Iran is something that the markets are keenly watching out for, and a reaction to that is clearly seen on the oil prices. So that's about what we have seen with respect to the crude as well as when it comes to the kind of moves that we have seen on the US markets. But moving on to another story and sticking with the oil prices then, because they jumped almost 4% on Wednesday after J.D. Vance said that the Iran failed to meet key U.S. red lines in nuclear talks and that Donald Trump reserves the right to use military force as diplomacy fails. Now, traders fear conflict could disrupt flows through the crucial Strait of Hormuz, a choke point for a third global oil export, lifting crude prices. Now, Iran has agreed to further talks but not fully accepted the U.S. demands. However, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said that there was some progress made with context to Iran and that the U.S. government remains in close communication and correspondence with Israel. Let's go across and listen into that.
I don't have any specifics on the president's recent conversations with Israel. As you know, Prime Minister Netanyahu was just here at the White House last week or the week before. But again, with respect to Iran, there was some progress made yesterday. There are still a lot of details to discuss, and we'll continue to see how this plays out. The United States government, of course, is always in close communication and correspondence with the state of Israel, and that starts right at the top with the president and Prime Minister Netanyahu themselves.
And moving on then, the minutes from the Federal Reserve show that officials are divided on the future path of the interest rates. Most policymakers favor pausing the cuts, while some even discuss the possibility of hikes if inflation stays high. The split could widen with leadership changes as Chair Jerome Powell nears the end of his term. Markets now expect the next cut to be around the month of June.
And the United States is moving to build a trade bloc on critical minerals to counter China's market dominance. Now, Washington has signed new mineral agreements with 11 countries and launched a partnership called Forge. Now, Secretary of State Marco Rubio said that aim is to align pricing investments and supply chains.
And Trump's family says that the US dollar needs a digital upgrade and they want to lead the shift. Speaking at the World Liberty Forum, Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump promoted their stablecoin USD1 as a way to preserve dollar dominance. Backed by World Liberty Financial, the coin is pegged to the dollar.
And yes, of course, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is definitely has welcomed senior tech executives at the India AI Summit at Bharat Mandapam. The visiting leaders and tech executives, they addressed the summit and participated in the plenary session scheduled. And the AI Impact Summit brings together more than 500 global AI leaders, over 150 academicians, as well as researchers, and 400 chief technology officers, vice president, and philanthropists, creating a broad platform to deliberate on the future of artificial intelligence and its global impact. Let me take it across to Sumita for more highlights.
That's right. Day 3 was action-packed and Day 4 looks even better given the fact that the Prime Minister is going to be holding plenary session at the India AI Impact Summit here in the national capital at Bharat Mandapam. But looking back at Day 3 and what it was like, well, we got in touch and spoke to a whole host of corporate honchos and in fact industry leaders as well. In fact, we spoke with USI SPF's Mukesh Aghi, who hailed the India-US trade deal, and he said that complementarities defines the key feature of the trade deal. He also said that agricultural sensitivities have been kept in mind. However, agricultural exports, that is one of the largest export categories for the United States. In fact, he also said that the deal signing could happen in the next 3 to 4 months. Other than that, we spoke to Sridhar Vembu of Zoho. He said that fears related to IT industry displacement and IT industry going away by 2030 completely, which was stated by veteran investor Vinod Khosla, they are overblown. He said that there will be opportunities. Of course, some jobs will be replaced, but there will be more opportunities that will be created. Then we caught up with Meta's global policy lead, and he essentially said that this directive by the government to remove deepfakes, to remove synthetic content within 3 hours is challenging given the operational difficulties that companies will face. And he said that we will be approaching the government to extend that timeline. We also caught up with, of course, Priyank Swaroop, and he said that there will be AI solutions that will be made for Indian population, and that Anthropic does very little for Indian population that remains still disconnected from urban centers. But other than that, Sundar Pichai, Alphabet CEO, met with Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and of course, he announced that very, very critical initiative between India and America, and he said that that India-America Connect for subsea cable routes is going to boost AI connectivity between US and Southern Hemisphere. Other than that, Galgotia's University, well, they were asked to leave the expo premises after the controversy around them using a Chinese robo came up. But looking forward to Day 4, the Prime Minister is going to meet with global leaders who have arrived in the national capital. At least 20 heads of states are here. Then, of course, there will be his address. There will be high-level discussions on AI governance and India AI mission, and a CEO roundtable with the biggest tech companies of the world here in the national capital.
And while keeping with the India's AI leap, Alphabet CEO Sundar Pichai has made a big announcement. Google has announced India-America Connect for subsea cable routes, boosting AI connectivity between US and the Southern Hemisphere. Let's listen in.
Last year, we announced a $15 billion AI hub in Vizag. This hub will house gigawatt-scale compute and a new international subsea cable gateway. When finished, it'll bring jobs and the benefits of cutting-edge AI to people and businesses across India. Building on this, today we are announcing the India-America Connect initiative, which will deliver new subsea cable routes to increase AI connectivity between the US, India, and multiple locations across the Southern Hemisphere. To take advantage of the opportunities this infrastructure creates, we must also invest in people and skilling, which is why we are announcing some of our most ambitious skilling programs yet. This includes a new Google AI professional certificate program to help people master AI in their work.
And at the India AI Impact Summit, Sumita sat down with Rob Sherman of Meta, who spotlighted India's growing role as a global hub for AI innovation. He spoke about the country's deep talent pool and the power of cross-border collaboration in shaping next phase of AI growth. Listen in.
I think it's really exciting to be here, both because the summit itself is really vibrant. You see all of these Indian developers who are using global models to build really exciting applications, whether that's literacy applications to help scale education to the Indian population, healthcare, all these different kinds of things. And so it's just really exciting to see that. When we are thinking about our work on AI, a lot of it is around building what we call personal superintelligence. And so this is essentially the idea that AI will be available not just for big companies or big governments, but actually for each individual person to be able to build technology and use it in ways that make their lives better.
Right. So when we talk about, what Meta is doing, particularly here in India, of course, you have interests when it comes to MSMEs, empowering MSMEs. WhatsApp is a huge business. Again, social networking is a huge business. And of course, how AI has been integrated in all of these businesses is quite commendable. What India is doing at the moment, does it encourage companies like Meta to sort of keep its focus here on India and keep the investments coming?
Yeah, well, the Indian government has just, as you know, just put out a policy statement about how they're investing in AI. And I think it's really positive to see their focus both on investing in talent to make sure that people have the capability to use AI, and working on relationships with the U.S. and other countries to make sure that the most advanced technology comes here to India.
Right. And when we talk about the United States and India, especially in the space of AI, companies in the United States have adopted a costly, quite an expensive model, especially when it comes to sort of launching their own large language models versus what India is doing with respect to whether it is the infrastructure layer or creating the application layer and building for the masses, building for the vast scale of population that we have here. How do you really see these two approaches getting aligned?
Well, something that I heard Mr. Vaishnav say actually recently about this is that India's approach is to build deep infrastructure and leverage the innovations that happen in lots of other places. So, for example, we and lots of other people are building foundation models that Indian developers can build on top of.
And well, at the India AI Impact Summit, Prakash also caught up with Sanjeev Jain of Wipro, who underscored a key message for the AI era. Skill is the primary currency of the future. He emphasized that the urgent need for continuous upskilling to stay relevant in an AI-driven world as enterprises recalibrate talent strategies to harness emerging technologies. Let's listen into the slice of that conversation.
See, for us, we have a platform called Wipro Intelligence. So Wipro Intelligence has a suite of platforms, solutions, offerings that we have. So there are multiple solutions that we are showing there. And I think we are excited to have you visit us and look at the stall as well.
Okay, so where does India stand as far as AI ecosystem development is concerned?
I think India really is at the cusp of democratizing AI for the societal use. In India, we know we have a huge talent base for technology. We also have a lot of, I don't want to call them problems, but they are good use cases for us to apply AI. And we have the great technology firms here. We are serving the world for our clients, and it's a great opportunity for us to really leverage that talent pool to solve the problems that are there for India.
Okay. What new investment or partnership are you planning in the AI space, especially focused on India?
We already have very good partnerships in place. We have all our technology partners, whether it's Microsoft, IBM, Google, everyone we partner with. I think what we are really interested is technologies on one side, really take the technology and apply it for the solutions. I think that is where we come into play. So we have been partnering very well with the clients in India or with the society in terms of building the skilling ecosystem for the country, where we are partnering with the universities, colleges across the entire country. We are also partnering with a lot of government programs to really help in making AI beneficial for the societal use.
Okay, and given the kind of environment you are witnessing and being supported by the government, do you see India emerging as a key growth driver, especially if you talk about AI ecosystem? So do you see India emerging as a key growth driver in this particular space?
Yeah, India has always been at the cutting edge of the technology in the terms of how can we use the technology to solve problems. And we'll continue to do that. I'm already seeing we do it for our clients, and we'll continue to do it for all the country, and the government and the societal users, as I said.
All right, but with this, viewers, it's now time to slip into a very short break in this edition of Market Cafe. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more.
To watch out for before the start of D Street, and let's talk about the Asian markets and how they have started. Now, remember, we did have a good day coming in as far as Wall Street is concerned, and taking a cue from Wall Street, even Asian markets are trading in the green right now. In fact, if you look at KOSPI, that has jumped to record high as we are tracking the gains on Wall Street. In fact, you look at KOSPI, that is trading up with gains of almost 2.4%. It's sitting at 5,639, so that's a record high for KOSPI. So that market is rallying right now. Nikkei is also up 0.8%, 469 points uptick coming in on the Nikkei. Shanghai is down Shanghai and the Chinese market, Shanghai and Hang Seng, both are shut on the back of Lunar Year New Year break. So the Chinese markets are still shut. And as far as S&P ASX 200 is concerned, that's trading up 1.1%. So gains coming in all across the board. But let's take a look at Gift Nifty also. Let's pull up the chart for Gift Nifty. Very, very flat moves, an implied start of just 5 odd points, but a very muted start is what Nifty is really penciling in for now.
All right, so that's the handover we are getting from the Asian markets. But moving on to another story, and ET now spoke to the president and CEO of USISPF, Mukesh Aghi, who spoke of the contours of India-US trade deal. Mukesh Aghi has said that India has protected the interest of farmers, and he expects the deal to be signed in the next 3 to 4 months.
The biggest export of United States after defense is agriculture. So they will look for the domestic market in India. But India has basically a red line, making sure that you don't get GM products, you are protecting the farmers. And India has done that. I think where India allowed certain agriculture product to come in is like tree nuts, almonds, cashews, which India does not grow so much itself. I mean, say today India imports roughly $2 billion worth of almonds from the US. So I think those are not red lines, but in the case of soya, in the case of wheat, in the case of rice or dairy products, India just pushed back and they have not been crossed.
So the reason why I ask you this question is because when we saw the White House readout, the White House fact sheet that came after the joint statement was released, the White House readout did mention in terms of convergences, they mentioned about the agri sector, which was not mentioned in the joint statement, which raised some questions on whether the administration can be trusted on what they're essentially saying and whether they will change what they're saying today and tomorrow will be a different version.
Well, I think we have the Indian negotiators going to the U.S. They are going to work on nuts and bolts of the framework agreement. There'll be a signed dotted line coming through, but I can tell you that there's absolutely no crossing of the red lines on agriculture.
Okay. Mr. Raghi, I have to also talk to you about the digital trade aspect of the trade deal, it is also one of the areas that has been spoken about. In fact, the opposition here has maintained that data will be compromised. Now, the Indian government has maintained that that's not going to happen because we have a very strong DPDP Act, our Digital Privacy Act in place, and that's not going to happen. So what exactly is the United States looking at when it wants to sell more ICT products here in India, when it wants to sell more chips in India? Because we have our own semiconductor mission as well, and we are creating our own chips to export to the world.
Well, when you look at the Atmanirbhar Bharat effort by the Prime Minister, basically is focused on building your own chip ecosystem. But when you look at the chips being designed in India, they are 20 nanometers and above. The chips in the US are 70 nanometers and below.
And well, on the sidelines of the India AI Impact Summit, my colleague Srinjoy also spoke to Kyrios Mitsokaisi, who highlighted India's growing leadership role in shaping global AI's growth. He also flagged the need to address serious risks associated with artificial intelligence, with a strong emphasis on safeguarding children in the age of AI as governments and policymakers work to balance innovation with responsibility. Let's listen in.
Well, first of all, it's a real pleasure and privilege to be attending this very important AI summit, which is hosted by Prime Minister Modi and by India. I think it is incredibly important that India is playing a leading role in defining the new global governance framework for AI. As you pointed out, AI can be truly transformative, but there are also serious risks that need to be addressed. And unless we manage to get to a point where we have a global understanding of how we will mitigate the risks while ensuring that the benefits of AI are spread equally and to every corner of the earth, we will not have done our job as global leaders. And that's why I think this is a very important topic to discuss. Greece has its own very ambitious AI strategy, but we're also keenly aware that there are serious risks that need to be addressed, the mental health of children and teenagers, the way these large language models are programmed to ensure that they are biased towards what we would consider good behavior, the way we protect our democratic space from misinformation and disinformation, which can be amplified through artificial intelligence. I think these are critical topics which we will discuss, and hopefully we can reach some common conclusions.
Yes, sir. And you've seen technology in the past. There's been the digital divide. Now, surely we don't want an AI divide. We don't want a north-south. We don't want a rich-poor. We want everyone to benefit from this. Now, you're meeting Prime Minister Modi, plus you're speaking. Surely all of you are thinking of this, that AI, the benefits of AI should reach everybody.
Exactly. And I think this is exactly the theme of this global summit, and a topic Prime Minister Modi is really focused on. And I must acknowledge that India has made a spectacular leap forward when it comes to the adoption of digital technologies. And I think this acknowledges that digital technology can be a force for good, can benefit billions of people, provided everyone has access to it, and provided that the benefits, as you pointed out, are spread in a just and viable manner.
All right, and the AI Impact Summit 2026 in New Delhi, in a network exclusive, Wikipedia founder Jimmy Wales spoke about the growing role of artificial intelligence and why human judgment must remain central in the AI era. He emphasized trust, community responsibility, and India's expanding role in global knowledge creation. Listen into that.
Yeah, so the only AI check in Wikipedia, some of the community members are testing tools to do AI checking. It's not really mainstream at all now, and it's really a community effort. In terms of that sort of thing, I think obviously the big quality news sources, they also need to be very, very careful about journalists using AI inappropriately, because, of course, you print something like this, well, for one thing, you lose the trust of the Wikipedia community who will say, oh, look, this is obviously AI, not real. And so I think we all need to sort of step back from AI and say, well, just because it can produce something that looks real let's actually be serious about the facts.
Jimmy, if I now come to India and Wikipedia, about 25% of your pages come from the subcontinent, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, it's a huge community.
And in various languages also, English, Hindi, and there are other vernacular languages also where Wikipedia is providing services. India, AI, and Wikipedia, how do you see the future?
Yeah, so India has been a huge part of our community for a very long time. We have 25 Indic languages, most of the scheduled languages. We have the third largest community contributing to English Wikipedia is from India. And so that's a huge aspect of things. One of the things that is exciting broadly about India, so I'm not talking about Wikipedia, is this very strong IT sector in India is very well poised as we move forward into the next era to really benefit from and to be innovative and creative around all of these new technologies. So it's a very exciting time.
Jimmy, we're living in a world that is torn by conflicts. Russia, Ukraine, West Asia. Last year there was India, Pakistan. There's a lot happening in the Gulf as well. At the time when it's an open source, you and I, sitting on the different side of fences, can edit it as per our convenience. How is Wikipedia ensuring that A, you'll remain neutral, B, you'll remain credible and verifiable?
So for me, it's really all about the community health. And, what I love is the examples. We have many examples where maybe you and I are on different sides of some debate, but we can come together and say, okay, well, let's be fair. Let's explain the debate to people, not try and battle and win. Like if you come to Wikipedia with a battleground mentality, hopefully that's not fun. Hopefully it's really more about people saying, okay, look, there's a conflict, let's explain it to the world. That's really what our mission is. And for us to keep that mission, it really is about the health of the community. Do we have kind and thoughtful people? Are we really having discourse and dialogue within our community that is about thoughtfulness? And we always have to preserve that.
All right, let's move away from the AI summit to back home and the stocks that are going to be in focus in today's trading session. And for that, my colleague Mithali is now joining us. Mithali, take us through all the stocks that we need to watch out for.
Right, so talking about the stocks in focus today, first watch out for all the crude related stocks. Now the oil, it has surged nearly 4% after the US Vice President indicated that Iran has failed to address American red lines in the nuclear talks, and also with President Donald Trump keeping the military actions on the table. On the back of this, the spike is crude. It is negative for the oil marketing companies like HPCL, IOC and BPCL, and as the higher input cost, it puts pressure on the marketing margins. Also watch out for the crude sensitive sectors like paints, tires and aviation. Stocks like Asian Paints, Berger Paints, Apollo Tires, Seat and Interglobe Aviation, there some negative pressure could be seen on the stocks. On the flip side, the upstream producers like ONGC and Oil India might be benefiting out of this as they stand to benefit from the stronger realizations. Also moving ahead, we have Adani Power, NTPC and Coal India that may see some positive traction today, as sources suggest that the government is likely to offer significant relief to the mega power projects, including a potential 100% of exemptions on customs and excise duties or for the project equipment. Now, a move that could materially reduce their capital cost and also improve the project viability. Also, watch out for the construction major NCC, as it might be under pressure after its arm has received a debarment notice for a 2 years debarment order from NHAI, barring it from participating in the new tenders. And for your information, the total order book as of Q3 for the company stands around 79,571 crores, and out of this order book, 22% of the order book is from the transportation segment, including highways, bridges and metros. Moving ahead, we have Cochin Shipyard, which might be in focus today as the company has received a mega order win, and the company has signed a major contract exceeding 2,000 crore rupees with France-based CGM to design and build 6 LNG-fueled feeder container vessels. Also, watch out for HUL, as the company has approved an investment of nearly 2,000 crore rupees over the next 2 years to scale the manufacturing capacity in high-margin beauty and well-being and also the home care segment. Lastly, MCX will also be in focus today after its clearing corporation has scrapped 3% extra margin on the gold futures and 7% on additional margin on the silver futures, which will be effective from today. So these are some pockets that might see some action today.
All right, thank you so much, Mithali, for that. But with this, let me take it across to my colleague Ravinder, who is standing by with a list of more stocks to be washed out today. Ravinder.
Well, sir, from the pharma space, Dr. Reddy can be in focus, where company has entered into a definitive pact with UK-based Mercury Pharma to acquire Progenvia and Cycloprogenvia trademarks and related Indian asset for $32.15 million. So, back of these stocks can be in focus. Zydus Lifesciences can be in focus, where companies has received US FDA note for one of its tablet, and tablet is used to treat pulmonary arterial hypertension. So back of this, these stocks can be in focus. Alembic Pharma can be in focus, where companies where US FDA has conducted an unannounced GMP inspection at its injectable facility at Gujarat from February 9 to 18, 2026, conducting with 2 observations. Keep an eye on Tejas Network, where company has received approximately 70 crore from the Department of Telecommunication as the final 15% incentive payment for the FY 24 to 25 under the PLI schemes for telecom and networking products. And apart from this, Jindal SAW can be in focus, where company has received a suspension from the American Petroleum Institute restructuring the use of the API monogram on its seamless pipe due to audit non-conformations. Keep an eye on Yatra Online, where promoters THCL Travel Holdings Cyprus Limited had sold approximately 1.8% stake in the open market to fund legal and compliance expenses for the promoter group, including its Nasdaq listed parent Yatra Online. Keep an eye on ABB India and CI Automotive, where company will announce their quarterly result today. So back of this, these stocks can be in focus. And lastly, Capri Global can be in focus, where PNB Paribas has bought 3.8 million shares in a block deal at 176.2 per share, and Morgan Stanley has sold 3.8 million shares of Capri Global at 176.2 per share. So back of this, Capri Global can be in focus.
All right, so all those stocks you need to watch out for in today's trading session. But with that, it's time for a quick breather. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Every business is like a piece of land. From the outside, it looks.
Welcome back. You tune into Market Cafe. Let's talk about an exclusive Exclusive sources are suggesting that the Power Ministry is set to provide major relief to mega power projects. The government is likely to extend 100% benefits under the mega power policy to provisional mega power projects, including full exemption on customs and excise duties on the project equipments. My colleague Prakash is joining us with more details on this.
Well, that's an important development coming in, as we are learning from our sources that the government is likely to provide big relief to mega power projects in the country. We're given to understand that 100% benefits of the mega power policy may be provided to provisional power projects, and that will be in terms of exemption in custom and excise duties, on power project equipments. A very significant development. In fact, sources indicate that the benefits may be provided irrespective of the power purchase agreement. Any power project having long-term power purchase agreement, up to 85% of the capacity can get these benefits. A very crucial development coming in. In fact, the Power Ministry has prepared final cabinet note to amend Mega Power Policy 2009. The interministerial consultation on the cabinet note has been completed, and the ministry is moving ahead with the final cabinet note. Sources also indicate that the ministry seeks full exemption whether the power purchase agreement has been executed under Section 62 or Section 3 of the Electricity Act 2003. Currently, benefits are available under Section 63 of the Electricity Act, which mandates tariff-based competitive bidding, whereas Section 62 of the Electricity Act empowers adoption of the cost-plus mechanism. Now, Ministry has prepared the final cabinet note recommending the benefits should be provided irrespective of the type of power purchase agreement.
All right, thank you so much, Prakash, for getting us that big exclusive. But moving on to the next story then, and let's put the spotlight on FMCG major Hindustan Unilever, as the company says that they will invest up to 2,000 crore rupees for capacity expansion in premium categories, where the company is set to strengthen the presence in premium categories like skin care, hair care and personal care and home care liquids. We have Anjali with us for more details. Anjali.
The FMCG major Hindustan Unilever has said that they intend to invest up to 2,000 crore rupees in a capacity expansion, which is going to be specifically for their premium categories. Now, this is the outcome of a board meeting held and in a stock exchange filing. HUL has said that this expansion of manufacturing capacity is going to happen in fast-growing premium categories across beauty, wellness, and home care liquids. Now, this is in line with the company's strategy of focusing on fewer, bigger bets and strengthening their presence in the high growth demand spaces. Now, a few categories that the company has called out is premium skincare, hair care, personal care, as well as home care liquids. Another interesting part of the stock exchange filing is that the company has said that by leveraging advanced automation, they want to enable a faster response to evolving consumer needs. Now, we've seen in the recent past that regional and D2C brands have been challenging legacy FMCG brands with their ability to respond to consumer needs in a much faster manner. That is why HUL's commitment to responding to consumer needs faster is an important point to note. They've also said that this manufacturing network is now going to be future ready and can support emerging channels and high growth formats. Another thing that the HUL stock exchange filing mentions is that they target to operate on 100% renewable energy. But yes, a massive boost in capacity coming in from HUL by way of increasing facilities and an investment up to 2,000 crore rupees being cleared by the board.
All right, moving on from HUL to Tata Sons, the board has convened a meeting on 24th of Feb to consider approval of N. Chandra's third term as chairman. Now remember, the Tata Trust board has already given its nod for the extension in October last year. Anurag Joshi is joining us with the exclusive details.
Yes, Tata Sons has convened a board meeting on February 24. Key agenda before the board will be a proposal to consider a reappointment of N. Chandrasekaran, chairman of Tata Sons, for a third term. N. Chandrasekaran's term concludes in February 2027. This is his second term. Chandrasekaran had was first appointed as the chairman of Tata Sons in 2017, and his term was renewed. He secured a unanimous reappointment in 2022. This will be a key agenda to watch at the Feb 24th board meeting of Tata Sons. The meeting is also coming at a time when Noel Tata, who's the chairman of Tata Trust, is seen consolidating and strengthening his overall position within the Tata Group. Recently, there have been efforts made to induct Noel Tata's son, Neville Tata, as trustee on the board of Sir Ratan Tata Trust, but that outcome is yet to happen. In the past, Tata Sons has regularly had board meetings to consider the overall financial and operational performance of the group firms.
All right, thank you so much, Anurag, for getting us all those details. But moving on to an exclusive then, and the insurance regulator IRDAI seeks data from top 200 brokers and corporate agents. My colleague Anurag joins in with more details.
Insurance industry's commission structure is under scanner, and IRDAI is likely to come up with new commission structure rules in next few months. But before that, the regulator has sought very granular data from top 200 brokers and corporate agents, and data to be submitted by 23rd of February. And line of business wise data is also asked by regulator, and for the 3 years, for FY23, FY24 and FY25, data has been asked by regulator. details have been sought of the gross direct premium, commission and remuneration, reward and annual incentive, maximum and minimum commission per line of business also sought by IRDA, and any other payment received by brokers or corporate agent with the specific purpose also need to be mentioned in a separate sheet. So separate detailed sheet for each insurer tie-up also to be submitted. So all details need to be submitted in a very granular form to regulator, as we know that from last few months from RBI to DFS to Finance Ministry has raised questions on commission structure, and in this regard only regulator has sought detailed data from top brokers and corporate agents, and in coming month the regulator will come up with a new commission structure.
All right, with that, it's time for us to slip into a short break. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back. NHAI has debarred the company and its arm from participating in any tender to bid for 2 years. My colleague Rabinder is now joining us with more details on that.
Well, yes, NCC can be in focus where company's subsidiary or step-down subsidiary OB Infrastructure Limited, along with the NCC Limited, has received an order debarment from the National Highway Authority of India, and both the entities has been banned from participating in any tenders bid issued by the NHAI for the period of 2 years with effect from the 17th of Feb 2026. And the reason for the debarment is that the debarment has been issued under the Ministry of Road and Highway Policy in connection with the highway projection executed by the step-down subsidiary in Uttar Pradesh, and subsidiary has constructed and maintained the project as per the concession agreement dated on 27 April 2006, and project execution was delayed due to delay in land handover and various alleged breaches by the National Highway Authority of India, and OBIL has initiated arbitration proceeding against the NHAI and received a favorable arbitral award on 28 November 2024, and NHAI has challenged this award before the Delhi High Court, where the matter is currently pending, and there are few other disputes between OBIL and NHAI in respect of execution and maintenance of the project, and companies say that there is no impact of on the existing order book and or ongoing of the company, and company's total order book as of Q3 FY26 stand at 79,751 crore, out of which 22% comes from the transportation segment, which includes highway, bridge, metro, tunneling, etc., and book to bill ratio stand at 3.8 times. So back of this negative news flow, NCC can be in focus.
All right, watch out for NCC in trade on the back of that. But let's move on, and we are currently at the fag end of the earnings season, and now we are expecting Q4 FY25 results from ABB. How is the company really poised to report? Karan is joining us with what the street is penciling in for ABB. Karan, take us through all that we are expecting from the company.
Well, ABB India is all set to release its quarterly earnings for the fourth quarter of calendar year 2025. As far as the revenue is concerned, revenue could see an uptick of 4% on the back of large order inflows and export momentum. The street will also watch out for incremental inflows from data centers, renewables, railways, and private capex. Remember, in the last week of Jan, the parent company had mentioned that the order inflows from ABB India have increased by 49%. So do watch out for that. On the flip side, as far as the EBITDA is concerned, the EBITDA could see a decline of 17%, with EBITDA margins contracting to around 400 basis points. EBITDA margin contraction is expected mainly due to higher commodity prices and competition.
All right, thank you so much for joining us with that. But before we wrap up this edition of Market Cafe, let's take stock of how the Asian markets are doing right now. Well, Asian markets are following suit from Wall Street, opened in a sea of green after that lunar holiday, even though the Chinese markets are shut on the back of that Lunar New Year holiday. But Nikkei right now is trading with gains of almost 0.6% there, uptick coming in. Now remember, Kospi is sitting at record high levels. That's up 2.4% at 5,643 is where Kospi is at. We have S&P ASX 200 that has also ticked up, to 1% gains coming in on that. So that's how largely the Asian markets are shaping up. If you pull up Gift Nifty also, Gift Nifty is up just 30 odd points though. That's a rather muted start for the Indian market, albeit in the positive territory. That's what we're expecting for the Indian markets. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Market Cafe. I'll take a leave. Thank you so much for tuning in.